Whee! I'm really having a lot of fun on this bike. I didn't think I would, but I am. This is the Hitway BK6s. It's a very nice looking bike, isn't it? Striking red. Also comes in blue, grey and black. You're definitely going to be noticed out on the streets. Hopefully I'll be noticed by the cars on the road. So because it's not a fully fat tyre e-bike, it's got 3-inch wide tyres rather than use your 4 of a fat tyre e-bike. It does make it generally easier to pedal, and also because it's got the gears, that helps a lot too. I've only been riding with no power so far, and it's very rideable. If I ran out of batteries, I'd be happy to ride this. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I could ride this back home. Pedal assist 1, as usual, can't really feel it. Pedal assist 2 kicks in. Oh, nice little bump up. Let's bump up the gears. So it's the Shimano Tawny system. Simple button press to go up the gears, slide the lever to go back down. Feels quite nice actually. Cruising along. Pedal assist 2, let's get my GPS going. 12 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour. Yeah, pedal assist 2 feels really nice if you're just gonna wanna go around your village at a decent riding speed. I'm only going 12 miles an hour, but it feels like a good 12 miles an hour. Feels like I'm getting somewhere. So let's up that to pedal assist 3, instant kick. Obviously it's meant to cut out at 15.5. The speedo says 15.5. Interestingly, it definitely stops at 15.5 as well. So if I was to pedal more, it doesn't go above 15.5. I've still got my GPS on. Ugh. 17. We're under our own power, 18. So it's not really a bike you want to push past the 15 to 16 miles an hour. This computer, they've gone old school. They've gone for the LCD S866, which I actually had on my very first e-bike. Oh, the road's closed. Right, am I in trouble because I'm on the pavement? Viewers, let me know. Are you all angry? The road's closed. Gotta get around it. These curves, by the way, are very comfortable because they've got front suspension. It's not lockable though. But I've got a suspension saddle. So yeah, it's weird this, because although it's taking me up to 15.5, it feels like it's like a satisfying 15.5. I think because of the upright and quite high position. No, that makes sense, because when you're high, everything feels slower, doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe it's because it feels like it should be slower, but it isn't. So let's talk about the battery. So the battery is a 36 volt battery, pretty standard. 12 amp hours, so not a massive capacity. It's about 432 watt hours, which translates to a range, they reckon, of anywhere between 20 to 50 something, which I like. I like the fact they've given a range, because yes, if I kept it on pedal assist 3, I probably would do, at my weight, about 15 to 20 miles on it. The motor, 250 watts. What Hitway have gone for with this bike is a fully legal, so no throttle, and that upper speed limit of 15.5. So if someone ever wanted to look at your bike, a member of the Noble Police Department, they would find that it has no throttle and it goes at 15.5 miles an hour and it's 250 watts, so you'd be absolutely fine on this lovely little cruiser. Of course, we've tried a few cruiser type bikes on this channel, so it has got a bit of competition. So here now we're at Sandy Lane for the hill climb test. This has got 32 Newton meters of torque. I will be pedaling, but I won't be helping. Right, so pushing. Oh, it's already a bit slow. No, I'm not helping. I'm going to put it in gear 1, so I'm just ghost pedaling. 11 miles an hour. Now some of the little bikes, the DYUs, contact here, so it's getting past that. It's not going to be last, but it's definitely slowing down. Of course, when it comes to a stop, I will start pedaling so you can see what it would be like to get up this hill if you were just riding normally. Still not helping. Getting to the factory, 4 miles an hour. I'm not sure that is 4 miles an hour actually. That's all right. It's going to get to the grip box. Right, I'm going to call it the grip box. I'm not going to make it stop. Yeah, grip box then. That's not bad. And then, because people don't do that in real life, I'll pedal on. I'm in first gear. If I owned this bike and I was going to work and I had to go up this hill every day, this is how you do. You go up this hill, you'd be pedaling first gear, the motor would be helping, 8 miles an hour. Let's just quickly turn it off. Right, no power. Ooh. Ah. This is what you do on a normal bike. You might be a bit quicker than this because it'll probably have thinner tyres. But yeah, I'm going to turn it back on again. And then, back to normal. The bike came in a pretty small box which was well packed and was one of the quickest bikes to put together, especially out of the larger bikes I've tested. Now be careful when you're screwing these on because they're not really required, but you can easily scratch this. Yep, I got it. Right there. In the box we have got a manual, reflectors, lock, 2-amp charger, a pump, multi-tool, zip ties and pedals, and a saddle. And it's complete.
Say, that's a nice bike.
It's quite comfy, that suspension saddle. It's one of the first suspension saddles which has made me feel like I've got suspension, which is weird. The front suspension as well is adjusted nicely because it's a bit hard, but when they're too soft they bottom out, and because it's not adjustable you don't want it to bottom out and then quickly spring back up, because then you get that annoying clicking noise like a dugga 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 dugga. Cue me up some dugga dugga dugga. But no, this is alright. It seems to get up to that 15.5 pretty quick, and if you're not a speed demon, I'd be more than happy to ride around at this speed. And you can push it a little bit faster. I'd probably say like 18 if you're trying really really hard. Maybe you get 20, 21, but you'd be tired after a bit, so you wouldn't want to keep it up forever. Now, because this bike's got no throttle, you want it to be able to kick in pretty quick when you get going. So let's wait for these lights to go green and you pedaling, 1, 2, and it kicks in, which for a cadence sensor e-bike, which this is, that's not bad at all. Because if you haven't got a throttle and you've got a cadence sensor bike, which means that you get power from the motor when the bike detects that you're moving the pedals around. And quite often you get a bike that has a cadence sensor and you need to do a few rotations before it starts. But if you're on a hill or at the lights and you want to get going on a road or anywhere really, you want it to give you power pretty soon. You don't want to have to struggle away for a few rotations and then it kicks in. So yeah, it's nice to see that this has been set so it barely takes any rotation at all before it gets going. And of course, if you're at the lights or at a hill, stop on a standstill, make sure you're in gear 1. So pretty impressed with that. There's no car behind me, so I'm going to do a brake test. So at this tree, 15.5 miles an hour, that brake is a bit dodgy, but not bad. Both brakes in conjunction. There's the tree. What's that, 1.5 meters? Not bad at all. Right, the foldable pedals are plastic, which is not ideal. I prefer metal ones. You can get metal foldable pedals. However, they do feel fairly good. If I put my weight on the outside, I can feel a bit of flex in the bend where the hinge is. However, no one rides like that, so don't do it. Oh, it's got a bell. I like this bell. They're integrated onto the brake. However, it does mean if you change the brake, you lose the bell. But there we go. A bit of rain coming now. Got no coat on. Love you, England. Oh, look at me going really fast. It is annoying the speedo doesn't actually tell you the speed. Bikes are allowed to go over 15.5 miles an hour, you know, like e-bikes are. It's just not allowed to power you over that. It doesn't, you don't need to make the speedo stop at 15.5 as if to say, no, 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 our bike doesn't, it won't power you over 15.5. Look, it stops at 15.5. You go down the biggest hill in the world, it's 15.5. No, e-bikes are allowed to go as fast as they want, providing that they are not giving you too much power over 15.5, or any power, or you're not pedaling furiously, which of course is illegal, and I would never do that. 19. So on the flat, you're going along 16 miles an hour, then you get a bit of a hill and you're like, way, this is fun. And then when you get up a hill, you're like, way, this is fun, because the bike's helping me pedal. It's a nice bike. I'm really having a lot of fun on this bike. I didn't think I would, but I am. And I always need to talk about this, but it's got those wingtip grips, which, you know, on a lot of bikes, they're not rare, but I really miss them when I haven't got them. This reflector is a bit annoying, because when you fully tighten it, it actually doesn't tighten enough around that end of the handlebar, because it's meant to have some rubber in there, which they did not supply. So what you're going to do, you're going to tighten it as full as you can, tighten it, and then push it as far left as you can, because the handlebar gets a bit thicker. And to be fair, it hasn't come off yet, and I'm going on some very bumpy roads. It only came off when I pulled it off. Thanks, boss. He looked like Rio Ferdinand. Whee! I love riding bikes. So this one's got lights, front and rear. I believe the back is a brake light, which is always handy. They seem decent enough. LED, of course. Battery's back up to 5 bars again. And it does feel as good now as it did when I first hopped on the bike. At 699 is extremely good value for what is a proper sized, nice bike that you can step through. Let me just demonstrate step through. Oh, and I'm off the bike. There we go. And I'm on the bike. So it's got everything you need, really. Like, it's got your gears, so you can pedal if you're in trouble. You got your bell. You got your mud guard, so you're not going to get muddy on the way to work. It folds. Let's have a quick look at that. Pedals are foldable, so they can go in, push and turn, which is nice. It's nice actually having that, just if you need to thread it through a small gap so the pedals aren't sticking out. It reduces the width down below. Little hook, undo, put the stand up, push like that, and it lands on that little metal thing. Would you be able to roll it, because they have gone together quite well? I don't think so. Nah, you wouldn't want to do that. If you were really careful, you could. So pull that, move the lever down, and then it gets out of the way. And there it is. It's pretty small. Handy if you had a little small corner of your flat or your garage or your shed and you needed to store it, because it's actually quite, for a big bike, it folds really, really small. It's a bit heavy, 27 kilograms. It's got the removable battery. You could take that somewhere. And another nice feature I like is that you have to have the key in the bike for it to work. So the key has 3 positions. Fully clockwise is power, and the key is locked in. One turn to the anti-clockwise, the key can now be removed. You will not get power from the computer, and also the battery is locked in, so no one can remove it for you, which means you don't always have to take the battery out if you pop into shops. And then fully anti-clockwise, still no power, but now the lock has gone in, and now I can remove this battery. And to put it back, there's a runner that slots in through there, so just slide that down like that, turn the key, locked back into place, pop the saddle up. Right, how high and low can it go? So fully low, that's suspension saddle. Being a suspension saddle, it goes a bit higher than other saddles because they've got to get the suspension. So I reckon 5'4", if you're 5'4", that'd be all right. And then all the way up to the maximum. And the handlebars also go up I already had that pretty much at the top anyway. It is step through, so you can step through. So that's definitely too tall for me. I reckon 6'4". If I was 6'5", I could ride this. It's all in all a very pleasant ride. And if you've never owned an e-bike before and you had this and you were going to work on it, I think you'd love it. Especially if you just want a nice leisurely cruise and enjoy the sights. Oh, there's also a saddle on the back, which is great. Little rear seat, which is removable to reveal just a normal rack underneath, and feels pretty comfortable. I probably wouldn't want to take someone my weight a long way, but it is taking my weight right now. So it's up to you. You can have it as a saddle and have your people on the back, just to make sure they hold on tight and wear a helmet. And if you don't want to do that, you take the sponge off and you can put your stuff on there. Now obviously I've been fairly positive about this bike, especially for what it is. It is a cheap bike. If this cost over £1,000, I'd probably be a bit more negative, but at its price, and there might be discount codes, have a look down below if there is. Check the pinned comment or the description, there should be something there telling you. Because if you could get this to close to 600, this would be amazing value compared to what you can get already. For under £700, you're getting a really good looking bike. The colour really pops in red and the stance makes it look sporty, even with the standard folding handlebars, which I don't usually like the look of. The bike is an extremely solid performer and everything basically works exactly as it should. The only negatives where I might expect better are the loose reflector, the speed not reading over 15.5 miles per hour, and whilst the mag wheels look great, they do scratch fairly easily. I see a bike, I see the price, and I have in my head what I expect, and if it matches up to what I expect of the bike, then it's going to be a positive review. So I knew I was going to get a legal bike without a throttle that wasn't, you know, really powerful or anything like that. So what do I expect of it? I expect it to be able to drive me around with ease, ride me around with ease. I expect it to do what it's meant to do. And this bike does exactly what it's meant to do. And not only does it do exactly what it's meant to do, it gives you a few nice little things. The hand grips, gears that work, decent puncture resistant tyres, metal mud guards, a removable battery that you need the key to use, things like that. It just does what it says on the tin. And I love it. So well done, Hitway. You've made a very solid bike there for a good price. So if you're interested in this bike, links down below. Like I said, there might be a discount code, save even more money, so take a look in that description. Of course, if you use the link, it will be an affiliate link, which means, I think it'll be an affiliate link, which will help the channel if you use it. So thank you if you did click on that. You'll be helping me as well, because I'm going part-time. If you enjoyed that video, if it helped, click that thumbs up button. If you didn't like that video, I'm not sure why you're still here, but thumb it down. And until next time, ride safe.